Pregnancy occurs as a result of fertilization of an ovum by a sperm. The ovum and sperm meet in one of the two fallopian tubes. With fertilization, cell division begins, and the fertilized egg, called a zygote, develops into a mass of cells called morula. In 2 or 3 hours, the ovum divides into 2 cells. In 3 days, it splits into 32 cells, and by the 5th day, into 90 cells. The morula continues to develop until it becomes a hollow clump of about 100 cells called a blastocyst. It then travels down the tube and implants in the uterus. An outer layer of cell material, the trophoblast, eats into the lining of the uterus. The trophoblast eventually develops into the placenta, which will transfer nourishment from the mother to the embryo. The umbilical cord links the embryo to the placenta and is formed at the same time as the placenta. The developing baby is now called an embryo. Once the organs have begun to develop, it will be called a fetus. The embryo has 3 layers of tissue, which will develop separately. The outer layer grows into the skin and nerves. The middle layer grows into cartilage, bones, connective tissues, muscles, the circulatory system, kidneys, and sex organs. The inner layer grows into the organs of breathing and digestion. At the end of 38 weeks, a baby is born. In the first 6 weeks of intrauterine life, the embryo grows in length of about 2/10 of an inch. By the end of the 9-month growth period, the fetus, as it is then called, will be about 20 inches in length. During the embryonic period, the main parts of the neck and face develop, as do the genital organs, bones, nerves, muscles, and some sense organs. The tissue which forms the lungs appear as well as the earliest parts of the abdominal organs. There are 2 pair of limb buds from which the arms and legs will take shape. At this stage, the primitive heart begins to beat. However, it cannot be heard with a stethoscope until about 20 weeks. By about 16 weeks of intrauterine life, the fetus is now about 6 inches long and weighs about 6 ounces. The blood vessels show through the delicate semi-transparent skin. Downy fine hair is starting to grow over the whole surface of the skin, and the eyebrows and eyelashes are beginning to emerge. The joints of all the limbs are moving. The fingers and toes have separated and are fully formed, and the toenails and fingernails are grown in. The sex of the fetus can clearly be determined as the sex organs are developed. Although the lungs are very poorly developed, the chest of the fetus moves from time to time as if it were breathing. The fetus is now moving a lot, but it is still too early for the mother to feel. By the 32nd week of intrauterine life, the fetus has developed enough to the point where it has a very good chance of living outside the womb if given good prenatal care. The head and body have almost reached proportions of a newborn baby. The lungs have begun to mature and will continue to do so for another 4 weeks. The fetus now weighs about 4 pounds. By the 36th week of pregnancy, the baby will have assumed the position in the abdomen that it will have until delivery. During the last 2 months of pregnancy, the fetus grows in stature and puts on weight. Over the 9 months of its development, the weight of the fetus will increase 600 times, from less than an ounce to an average weight of 7 pounds.